afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Charmin Itson, and I am the Graduate Assistant in the Career Development Center. And on behalf of the Career Development Center and our sponsor, Student Government Association, we would like to welcome you all to our 4th annual Career Bytes Conference. The theme of the conference is Prepare, Connect, Succeed. Throughout today, we have the opportunity to gain insight to help inform your career preparation, to build connections, and be inspired to pursue your definition of success. At this time, I would like to introduce the featured keynote speaker and UIS alum, Moyo Adeolu.
Hi guys. I'm really nervous, which is insane because this is like what I like to do, but when it's time to, shine, you get scared, and I feel like I'm doing a TED Talk, so I'm really proud of myself. I just want to say thank you to Charm, and thank you to UIS for inviting me back here, which is awesome. It's my first time being back on campus since 2016, so it's pretty cool. I'm going to talk a little bit about my career. I see a few familiar faces, so that's cool. For those of you that don't know me, Moyo Adeolu, and I am from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a first-generation Nigerian American, meaning my parents are from Nigeria, and I was born in America. I had a bachelor's degree in communications, and I am a digital storyteller, not just at my job, but for fun as well. And I am a videographer currently for the Illinois Senate Democratic Caucus right here in Springfield at the Capitol. And I love traveling. That's what I do with my money. I travel because I don't have kids yet. So I try to go to as many countries as possible. If anybody finds my presentation interesting and you want to network with me, doing it over shrimp fried rice is my go-to. And I love New York City, and I hope to move there very soon. So I gotta give a shout out to God because I'm Christian, and I believe that He has made a promise to me that I will achieve everything that I prayed about. So I just think it's super important for me to give that shout out. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about my experience while I was here at UIS, and then we're gonna go into my career. So while I was at UIS, I was super active, or at least I thought I was. That's me at SpringFest. I was a part of the UIS Dancing Stars, which kept me active. I studied abroad, and I was a part of a pageant. So while at UIS, I took my traditional courses, and then I did some non-traditional courses as well, which I think are super helpful because it allows you to see what you like to do. It allows you to network with people because, believe it or not, there might be some people in this room, or there might be some people in this university that you're gonna end up working with, or you're gonna end up crossing paths. So it's super important to even just be nice to people, because you never know what's gonna happen or who's gonna cross your path again in the future. Just like Charm reached out to me. There was somebody, I remember I was struggling in statistics, and the girl actually works with me at the Capitol now. So we joke about that, like how we were struggling in math, but here we are now working together. I did some non-traditional courses, like I said. I took ceramics, I took piano, and not just for an easy A, because it definitely wasn't, but it allowed me to just, once again, cultivate my interest and meet new people. So a part of, doing my education, I was also a part of some student organizations here on campus. UIS Dancing Stars, as I mentioned, and then I was the Vice President of African Student Association, which allowed me to really become a leader and work with the group. And then, of course, we always need some money while we're in school, and this is where some of my career interests really continued to grow. I was a videographer for the Office of Electronic Media, who's over here today recording, and that was my former boss. So it's super cool to be here and just to see him, and so he can see how he has helped me, so shout out to you guys. And while I was working there, a lot of people think that being a videographer is a male-dominated field. And even now, like, I'm at the Capitol with my high heels on, but I have the camera. And you know, some men sometimes like, oh, can I help you? I'm like, no, I got it. So it's pretty cool to be a woman videographer. And then I was also an intern for WIS. So this was really, studying abroad was, I would say, the pivotal turning point in my career. And if anybody has interest in studying abroad or it's crossed your mind, do it, please do it. It's not as expensive as you may think it is. So yes, please do that. I studied abroad my fall semester of my senior year, which is super late, some people may say, to Brussels, Belgium, and there it was a journalism school, and there I was able to really evolve as an individual. There was only 2 American students, and I was the only black person there in the entire program, and it allowed me to be more confident in my skin. They were speaking French. I had to learn French, so I know a little bit of French today. I was able to create international connections. One of the girls that I met, I'm gonna be in her wedding. So that's pretty cool. They visited me. I've been able to go back. So that was just the turning point of my career. And not only that, it made me, a light bulb clicked in my head because I said, you know what? I don't only have to work in Illinois. I don't only have to work in the United States. I can work abroad. You don't have to speak French. You can speak English. So it's really cool. It was a cool opportunity to study abroad. And then also I had some media training. I was doing a lot of hands-on work while there. So then I came back spring 2016, and I had one more semester here at UIS, and that's when I started freaking out because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm leaving my comfort zone, I'm leaving my friends, and I'm graduating. So I spent that last semester really trying to figure out what's next, what can I do, you know, because I'm about to move back to my parents' house, what can I do that will allow me to excel in my career and, you know, get the ball rolling. So a lot of uncertainty, and actually when I got my first job, I didn't get it right away. So it's okay if you're a senior and you're about to graduate and you don't get your first job right away. I went to work into a retail store, and then I got my job maybe 5 months in after graduating. So my first job, great company, Publicis Media, which is under that umbrella is Starcom Worldwide, and it was an advertising agency downtown Chicago. And great company. If you're trying to do advertising, definitely reach out to them. For me, I didn't like it because I've always wanted, I love speaking, I've always wanted to be in front of a camera ever since I was little. It's not, and I guess that's luck, you know, good for me because I didn't really struggle when I was in college. I came in, I knew what I wanted to do. So I was happy, you know, I had a great salary. I was happy I got a job in media, but media is so large, it's such a huge industry. So I was basically doing media for things that have already been created. So all of the creatives, the commercial was created, and I was doing like the billing side of it and the analytical side. And I'm like, I don't do numbers. So I had to figure out how to get out of there, right? But gracefully. I didn't just one day walk in and say bye. That's rude. And you don't know what path you're gonna cross again. So I had to do it gracefully and strategically, and I had to think, okay, what's my next step? Luckily for me, I was also, I guess you can say I'm a hustler. I had a part-time job. So if any of you guys are from the Chicagoland area, I was working at B96 radio station, and I was a promotions coordinator. So I had a full-time job, then I had a part-time job, and then still trying to live like a social life. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm gonna quit my job, which some people were like, you're crazy, like you have this great job, great company, like why are you gonna quit? I'm like, I'm still living at my parents' house, they're not kicking me out yet, so I'm gonna leave, and I'm gonna see, I believe, I have faith that I'm gonna get something in front of a camera, or at least dealing with a camera, because that's what I wanted to do. So, quit my job. had a part-time job. So while I had this part-time job, so if those that don't know, in broadcast, Chicago's the #3 market. I'm from Chicago. I didn't just randomly, I'm gonna move to Chicago. I'm from Chicago. So I'm struggling to find a job in broadcast in my city. So while I was there, so I'm working at the radio station, I said, I'm gonna create an opportunity for myself. If I can't get ABC7 to see little old me, like 22 years old, I'm going to just create an opportunity for myself. I'm gonna be like a community journalist. So I started a show, it was called Shy Chat, and I was working with CAN TV, which is Chicago Access Network Television, and I would basically interview entrepreneurs. So this is where the grind comes in. This is where, if you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk. You're not getting an opportunity, doors are not opening, create an opportunity for yourself, which is what I did. So I would be in Chicago, I didn't have a car, I'd be with my my tripod, my camera on the CTA bus. And if you're from Chicago, if you've been to Chicago, you know that I probably look crazy. So I was in Chicago with, a tripod on the CTA bus going to interview somebody for free. So I'm losing money. I'm not making a dime out of it, but I knew, I was confident that I was gonna get a job out of this. I just knew it would happen. So I continued to work at the radio station and I was interviewing people. The guy all the way on top, he's actually a Blue Man. From the Blue Man Group, I interviewed him. That's Vic Mensa. He did a shoe drive in Chicago, and then that's the radio station. So I was networking with people, I was meeting entrepreneurs, a buzz was happening for me, and then I was creating a brand for myself. So I eventually got a new job with the Illinois Senate Democratic Caucus, and I moved away from Chicago, so I switched up the title to Making It with Moyo, so no longer Shy Chat, like Chicago. So I named it Making It with Moyo, so that is the new show I have, and I still do it. Even though I got a new job where I use a camera, I still want to continue my side hustle. So this is where I am now, and I actually got that job because my boss, she saw what I was doing. She saw that I could manage a YouTube page. I could manage my own Instagram account, not my personal Instagram account, but my business Instagram account. So that's the job that I got, which is super awesome. And not only that, but I got a job where one day she said, you know what, I'm gonna give you a show. And I'm like, you're lying. Like, I'm just here to be a videographer, here to shoot, the senators, edit the video, and that's it. She's like, no, I'm gonna give you a show. I said, really? Me? She's like, yeah. So basically, I have a show also at my job, and it's called the Senate Democrats Monthly Minute, and I pretty much give a 1 to 2 minute update to constituents about what is going on in the General Assembly. And I know that after working here, I'm gonna be able to use this job to create my reel. So even though I had all these doors closing on me and nobody was gonna, put me on TV, this little girl, I'm now doing that. And it's funny because I never thought I was gonna return back to Springfield, Illinois, so never turn places down or companies down, because you never know where your opportunity is gonna come from. So this is what I do now at work. That's me at a press conference, that's me at another press conference, and that's the show I host. So that's pretty much it. You can reach out, sorry I didn't put LinkedIn on there, but you can reach out to me there. But yeah, it's pretty much, if I could sum it up, pretty much study abroad if that interests you at all. Open your own doors, create your own opportunities. Don't wait for somebody to hand you anything, especially where we are now. We're about to be in 2020. Create your own opportunities, even if that doesn't mean making money, because eventually you're gonna gain something out of it, whether it's your dream job or just experience. So that's pretty much it, and thanks for listening. Hopefully I inspired someone or two here, and I am opening the floor to any questions. Yeah, go ahead.
So, Moyo, what's something that you feel like you gained from your time here at UIS? I think a lot of students leave college and they're not quite sure what to do with the information that was given. What are you doing now with what you gained from the school?
Yeah, so even this is something super small. I was telling Cody when I had my on-campus job, Office of Electronic Media, and I used to record the basketball games. Simple things like learning how to wrap a wire. It's important because I use it at my job now. So little things like that. And I think it's super important to try the different opportunities you have now on campus because they're free to you. Of course, we're paying tuition, but they're free. You know, you have all these people here that are willing to help you. So looking back now, I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I did that. Oh, I wish I did that. So use these opportunities, use the resources that you have, go to the Career Center, fix your resume. You know, they're here because when you leave college, you're gonna be struggling. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I need somebody to help me do this. I need somebody to help me do this. Do it now. And that's what I would pretty much answer.
Oh, Kathy's question was, how do you overcome being nervous? Because you mentioned you were nervous at the beginning.
So yeah, I was very nervous. I'm still kind of nervous standing here. Like I said, my faith is super important. I pray before I get up on this stage as I was putting my makeup on. And then, you know what, I know this is what I like to do. I know this is what I want to do. So like I said, if I'm gonna, talk the talk, I better walk the walk. I better come up here like I'm ready, like I'm confident, even if I'm not inside, and just do it. Because at one point, I was praying and hoping. I was like, I want to talk on a stage one day. I want to do this. So when you get the opportunity, be grateful and do it. Do something with that opportunity. Yeah.
You spoke about making your own opportunities and finding the available.
Mm-hmm.
How did you recognize the opportunities, especially when they might not be immediately obvious? What did you do to kind of figure out that there was this niche that you could go into?
Yeah, so especially like in Chicago, it's a very competitive, I believe it's New York, LA, Chicago. So I said, okay, well, I'm not getting what I want, and I'm not gonna get it because there's people with more experience than me. So that's number one. There's people that are already ahead of me. So I said, what is Chicago missing? And what's trending right now? And I believe entrepreneurship is trending. I think a lot of us think we can do it. So I said, unfortunately, so bigger companies are not gonna just interview a local entrepreneur, not until they get a buzz. So I said, what can I do for those people that are entrepreneurs, that are doing something, but maybe they don't have access to a larger TV station that hasn't found them yet. So I was like, I'm gonna be a local journalist. I'm gonna create my own name, my buzz, a name for myself in my own city, in my own community. Because if Chicago's rooting for me, then Illinois is gonna root for me, and then I can take myself to New York, So I said, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna create an opportunity for myself and also for others to tell their story. So I think that's another important thing. With everything you should do, don't only think about yourself, think about how can I help somebody else? And I think that was super helpful in my career because I was able to tell people a story. And most people like being on TV. Most people like getting their name out there. So I was like, I'm gonna give these people a chance. Of course, there were some people I had to turn down, but I said, I'm gonna give these people a chance. I'm gonna tell their story. And while I'm doing that, I'm perfecting my craft. So yeah.
As someone who started your own business and brand, what kind of personality traits or skills are you looking for in an assistant or someone that would want to work with you?
Yes, that's a great question. I actually ended up hiring people, which was kind of an interesting turn. Because I'm the host of the show, right? So somebody needs to be shooting me. So my dad was helping me at a point. My younger sister, I'd pay her like $20. But then I'm like, no, this is not working out. So eventually I put a Facebook little post and I said, I'm looking for videographers. Somebody my age, somebody maybe a little younger, that wants experience, that's trying to come up, we can come up together. And I said, I can pay you something small, because of course I didn't have it, a lot of money. So I was looking for people that were willing to work with me, to help me edit my show. And when I was looking for those people, I was looking for somebody that wasn't trying to make a lot of money, because I wasn't making money, and I'm still not making money yet from the show that I'm hosting. So if anything, I was losing money because I was going places, I was driving. So I was looking for somebody that was willing, somebody that's eager, that has the same drive and ambition as me, and somebody that's just dedicated. So, and I think we could all use that if we want to have a team, because sometimes most of the time you can't do things by yourself. So just looking for people that were willing and eager and young, fresh energy that's ready to work. Yeah.
So during this process, have you ever had someone within the media field or outside of the media field that you looked up to as a mentor, or even like an Instagram person, like someone that you wanted to follow their path?
Okay, yes, guys. I pulled up on Cheryl Burden. If you guys know who she is a news anchor in Chicago. And so when I was working at Starcom, the advertising agency, it's on State and Lake. So that's very close to where ABC7 Chicago news station is. And I would see her. I would see her all the time, just walking back and forth right when I would leave work. Maybe if I would leave at 5, and Cheryl Burden, she'd sometimes run in TJ Maxx, makeup done, everything done. I would see her all the time. And one time, I would just be hi. I don't want to look crazy because I want to be in that field. I wasn't like starstruck, but I wanted, her to notice me. So I would see her a lot. And she actually follows me on Instagram, true story. So one time I slid in her DMs, and I was like, it was kind of wild. I was like, can you mentor me? I was like, can I take you out for lunch? She said no. But and then she told me about like a program that I could do. So even though she said no, the fact that she even follows me on Instagram, the fact that I do feel like she somewhat knows of me, that's good enough. Like, that's good enough. Because at one day, there's gonna be a time where she's gonna have to retire, right? So the fact that she even kind of knows who I am, that makes me happy. And the fact that she even replied and said, no, I'm not gonna go to lunch with you, that makes me happy. And of course, there's other people as well that I follow via social media, and I try to, not copy, but I look at the things that I like about them, and I say, okay, I want that. I want my career to look something like that. So yeah, there are some people. Yeah.
Can you talk more about branding yourself and being transparent with brands on social media and employers?
Yeah. So even, obviously, we all know social media that's where it's at right now. And I see even UIS with their Instagram, social media is just growing and it's changing, and I'm getting older too. So it's something that I have to continue to make sure I know what's going on. And I do some social media management at my job as well. To be honest, I struggle sometimes. Even now, I asked her to, can you post a little social media clip of me? Because now everything's a brand. You are a brand, whether you think of yourself as or not, you are a brand. And how you carry yourself, what you post on the internet, you're a brand. So you need to be super careful about that and how you carry yourself. It's a struggle. It's something that I'm still working on, to be very honest. I'm trying to be more active on Instagram. I was telling a friend, in my field, it's kind of hard because you're always in front of the camera. But I'm like, some days I don't want to be in front of the camera. I feel like I always have to be uppity and ready to present the news or something. But I'm human too. So it's hard. And I think also being transparent. And I think a lot of people appreciate that when you say, you know what, I'm struggling, I'm human. I'm not just some reporter. I'm not just some influencer. I'm human, and I go through my highs and my lows. So I think really being transparent on social media and staying true to your brand and not just copying what everybody's doing. Justin.
I wanted to know, like, how do you go about, like, meeting and connecting with entrepreneurs? How do you feel about that?
So he asked, how did I go about, and how do I still go about connecting with entrepreneurs or people with talent, and interviewing them? So I do my research. I go on Google, I go on Instagram. When I was back at home, I would do hashtag Chicago entrepreneurs. And I would search and search until I could find somebody that sparked my interest, or hopefully that would spark the public's interest. I would just literally just keep Googling local entrepreneurs or local events happening to see who's trending, what's trending, or what company is doing good. So that's how I would pretty much do it. And word of mouth too.
Okay, so my question kind of goes in with the last response. I know that we're always on the go and trying to stay relevant and stay, on the prowl.
Yeah.
How do you recharge, be able to want to create new content, things of that nature? So what kind of self-care mechanisms and things do you engage in to stay?
Yeah. Like I said, I think traveling for me helps me just bring it all back in. Even though it's a lot when I'm traveling, I'm on the go. But it's a time for me to just take a break and really enjoy different cultures and different countries. And then another way I recharge, I try to work out. I don't work out as much as I used to when I was at UIS, because now I have to pay for my gym membership. But I like working out, I like praying, I like traveling, and just trying to have a social life too, and just remember, I'm human, like it's all gonna come together eventually, and you have to remember that it's all a part of the journey. You can't yeah, you can keep going, but eventually you're gonna be worn out. So you have to give yourself a break sometimes. You have to say, you know what, I'm doing the best I can, and I'm gonna shut my laptop off for the night, and we're gonna try again tomorrow. So just giving yourself a break, because everybody, especially on social media, everybody's showing their highs, right? Everybody's showing the good part, but nobody's showing the part where they lost their footage on the camera or where they're struggling to get the light. Nobody's showing that part. So you have to give yourself a break and remember, it's just everybody's showing their highs. So, yeah. The job that I have now? Yeah, so I got the job maybe 3 months. So I was probably I was working part-time, which almost felt like I was unemployed, but I was working part-time, and then maybe a summer, 3 months of not having a full-time job, and then I got this job. And I never thought I would come back to Springfield, but I took it.
Okay, so one of your bigger focal points strongly relates to the idea of hustle. So I know that you mentioned throughout the slide that you hustle in regards to creating the show in Chicago, but did you hustle in other aspects? Did you hustle in general? I'm kind of curious about the school aspect, maybe the day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Maybe even now, would you be able to explain a bit more about that aspect?
Yeah, especially my senior year, I'd say that's when the wheels started. Okay, I'm leaving. I got to try to do as much as possible. I would definitely say I definitely tried to hustle while in college too, just trying to partake in as many organizations as possible, trying to balance a on-campus job while being a dancing star, while also trying to get good grades, and I was not good at math, so I was also going to tutoring. So I was trying to balance all of that, making sure I'm past my math class so I can study abroad, because it all connected. So definitely, yeah, in college I was hustling, and even in my workplace, I don't think I mentioned this, but when I was working at the advertising agency, I was a part of an African American organization, because there wasn't that many of us in that advertising agency. So I was trying to make sure we get a high number of African Americans in the workplace. So being a part of that, being a leader in that organization, and then also getting my work done by 5 p.m. So yeah.
I'm sure that in your career you've had a lot of rejection and no's. On the days that the no's and the rejection came, what are some of the things that you said to yourself to push you through the rejection and see your vision? What were some of the things that kind of helped propel you in the face of adversity?
Yeah, I like quotes, to be honest. I'm always on Instagram, I'm always looking at quotes just to remind myself that you're gonna get, and I know a lot of people say this, but it's very true, you're gonna get like 100 no's before you get that one yes. But you just have to, I don't know, you just have to have that positive mindset. And I know we can't have it all the time, right? We're human. But you just have to try to recharge. And like I said, closing your laptop, taking a break, and being, it's okay, it's all right. They're telling me no, but one day they're gonna be like, oh, I wish I said yes, So just really remembering that and just trying to stay positive and just keep chugging. Yeah. Okay, so like I said, I'm Nigerian, first generation, so my parents thought I was gonna be like a doctor, Hopefully my younger sister might be the doctor in the family. When they saw that I was excelling, especially when I started doing the show by myself, and when they saw like, oh, okay, I got this job with the state, they're like, oh, okay, she's got it, Then they started like, they're rooting for me. But before, even when I was in college, they're like, communications, they're like a little hesitant. But I'm like, I think if you're really, if you focus on what you want, you can excel, right? If you stay true to what you want and you stay focused and determined, you can excel. And when you're excelling, your family starts seeing you excel, your friends are supporting you, it's gonna work out, they're gonna support you, they're gonna jump on the bandwagon. So at first they were a bit hesitant, like what type of job, or try to be a lawyer, try to be a doctor. But when they started to see I was doing good and they saw that I got this, they're like, okay, we trust her, she's good. So yeah.
Imposter syndrome can be really hard in a professional setting, especially if you work in a setting where you're part of some sort of minority group within that field. How have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome, and if so, how have you worked through that?
A little, yes and no. I try to stay as confident as possible. I've never really felt uncomfortable, I guess you can say, in my skin. So I just try to stay positive, and you know what, at the end of the day, everybody's different. Everybody has their own quirks, and most people are uncomfortable with even just being themselves. So I think if you're the one that's comfortable, you're the one willing to be put out there, then I think everybody else will. So I think that's helped me the most.
We will wrap up and have one last question.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know, like, when you were transitioning from the first company to the next, did you just go ahead with it, or did you have any back plans?
Luckily, like I said, luckily I was still at home. So that was kind of good. I was stressed, to be honest. I was stressed, I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it. And like I said, leaving strategically. If you're ever gonna leave a company, leave strategically. Don't just walk in there like, I'm quitting. You don't wanna be the crazy one. Even if it's not a good environment or whatever, or it just doesn't fit your needs, you don't wanna just burn bridges, because you really never know if you're gonna cross those paths again. So leaving gracefully. I put in my 2 weeks. I didn't just walk out. I put in my 2 weeks. I tried to stay, but I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I was good at. I knew where my talent, where my experience was before. So I said, I'm so happy with the job that I had back then. And it definitely gave me the skills that I use today. But it wasn't everything where I knew I could excel and be everything that I'm called to be. So I had to gracefully leave and put in my 2 weeks, talk to my boss about what I want to do and how I felt at that time. So yeah, gracefully leaving and strategically leaving, and not talking about your employers via social media, and just being transparent with your career wants and needs. And I think if you do that, you're gonna go on the best route possible. Cool.
You can stay up here.
I
for
can
a
stay?
second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we would just like to thank you again, everyone. Can you give Moyo a round of applause? See? You did great. We are now going to have a 5-minute break to prepare for the Step Up and Stand Out employer panel and discussion.